What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. Welcome back to another training. Today, we're going to talk about how to build a standout activity record from the ground up. If it's a very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony, former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA outreach director. When we've been helping families with the college admissions process for the last 16 years now. So, been doing this for here and there for a little while. I asked, we're recording this live and we're seeing people. I asked what grade are people in? People are dropping like 8, 9, 10. We have a few 11s, but for a lot of the like, younger kids, I think I've been doing this longer than your kids have been alive as well too. So been doing this for a really long time. Our goal is to kind of share you what's working for our coaching family so you guys can kind of copy it and do it. And for those guys who are interested in taking the next step working with us, feel free to invite you guys to do that as well too. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what we're talking about today. Really quick, for those who are joining me live, can you guys see the screen? Quick yellow yes in the chat would help for me out. If you guys can see the screen there, if it should have the building extended activity record there. For a few yeses. Awesome. Fantastic. Thanks, everyone. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We have a few different components we'll talk about. I stick out to the end. I'll give you guys some ideas. People always love like the theory, but the tactical is what people really want. So I brainstormed a few ideas for those of you like, I don't know what to do. I'll have that answered for you guys by the end of this training. Okay. So kind of diving in first, let's talk a little bit about where this kind of fits into the whole picture as well too. Again, I like to do this just to kind of put us where the bucket needs to be. So when it comes to the college admissions process, right, those are really three things that matters the most. There's the academics, your activities, right, and your application itself. Today, very obvious, we are focusing on the activities section, right? Keeping in mind in the grand scheme of admissions, academics is the least important factor in the admissions process. Not saying it's not important, just the least important of the three. Activities is going to matter more, and the most important part is going to be your application itself, right? So this is a big topic because for a lot of you guys, your academics might be okay or your academics might be good, but we're not going to stand out with that. We're going to use academics just to be there, but where we stand out, this is where you stand out amongst everyone else, is going to be the activities section itself, which is going to be the key for you guys, right? Something else to consider. In the chat, I asked, we have some younger kids as well too. So for a lot of students, academics would start in ninth grade, right? Academics really starts in ninth grade as well. Spoilers, activities can start before ninth grade. So one of the things that you'll see that we'll talk about today is that when you do an activity that you continued from middle school to high school, you can share all those extra years. If you stop, you can't do that. But if you start early enough, you could. So one of the perks of middle school families is that we focus a lot harder on the activity section, knowing that we can leverage this on the application itself. Okay, so that's gonna be where we're talking about today. So first off, let's talk about standing out, right? Because people always talk about this as well too. When I say the word activities, people think of stuff. They think of what? Sports, competitions, volunteering, summer programs, internships, research programs, all these kind of things. And people always talk about standing out. Do something to help me stand out. So before we talk about the actual activities, let's kind of break this concept down a little bit. Because again, I think a lot of people don't fully understand this, right? So when it comes to standing out, I have a little diagram here. You kind of see really quick in the chat for those who are here with me live, which of these students on the screen is standing out, right? Which of these students, if you have to look at them, which student stood out for you guys? I see the answers popping in as well. So like the bottom corner here, right? The bottom, this is someone says third row, third column. Exactly, third row, third column. And student, why? Because they're different, right? Because they truly are out. So people think standing out is being different as well too from other people, right? Which I agree with. But then when it comes to standing out, again, a lot of you guys talking, oh, Coach Tony, the thing I hear a lot is, Coach Tony, I want to do research. That's going to help me stand out. I'm going to do an internship. That helps me stand out. Let me do a summer program. That helps me stand out. And I always throw it back, how, right? How is that going to get you to stand out? Because you're not the only one doing this, right? I bet you if I ask those who are here who's doing a club right now, a lot of hands will go up, right? If I ask who's playing sports, a lot more hands will pop up as well too, right? Because the things about the activities, people are doing very similar things. So in this game of standing out, there's two ways, right? There's two ways to stand out, right? The first way is I think what most people think about, right? Which is to be the best, right? If you are naturally the best, and that's kind of how it is, right? You naturally are the best, you naturally stand out, right? So if you're, again, going back here, you have these 12 characters, no, 16 characters as well too. And the one that stood out very, very different, right? That's the one that you know is first, right? That's why, again, they probably stand out. I think of this as like if you're, example, right? If you're in a competition, whoever wins first place is number one, right? The national champion, the world champion as well too. That's really cool, right? If you do something very impressive and you number the top, that's how you become there. But however, how many of these folks are there out there, right? And I would argue very, very, very few, right? Not many students. And again, I've worked with so many students that like this. The more I work with students, the more jaded I feel I am. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I probably have seen a more impressive thing. So to win this game is a very, very hard game to play. You truly have to be, again, be the 1% of the 99 of the over 99% is the key, which is very, very hard to do. Okay. So instead, what we're going to focus on today is not this, because you can do this if you want to, but again, really hard to. The other way to stand out is and. What does that mean? Okay. So for example, if I asked you guys, read it in the chat. If you guys can help me out, this will be a cool experiment as well. Who here, the child is in at least one club? Drop a one in the chat. One in the chat if your child is in at least one club. If there's one club, drop a one in the chat so I can kind of see like a little example. All right, cool. Thank you. So we have a bunch. let's pick one, right? Number one, right? So in the chat, I did one for club. All right, number two, drop a two in the chat if your child plays a sport, right? If your child plays a sport, drop a two in the chat as well too. Awesome. We got more kids who do number twos. All right. Number three. Let's say if your kid volunteers, right? Drop a three in the chat if your child volunteers. If your kid's a volunteer, drop a three. Right. All right. I'm gonna make this number go a lot smaller now. Okay. So let's say how many of you guys have done a summer program? Drop a four. If your child has done a summer program, four. Oh, you can see, actually, kind of. Oh, there you go. You can see now it's a lot less fours than there are the other numbers, right? It's number one, right? Let's make it even smaller. Let's say number five. How many of you guys have a mohawk in your head? Just me. I'm waiting for one more person. No, oh, no one there. But you see how, as we went through all these things, the group got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So again, for me, I could say I've done all these things, if that makes sense, right? So to stand out, I would say I said, because you can say I do one and two and three and four and five. Once I put the combination of this together, right? This is a unique person as well too, right? No one thinks of it that way. But again, going and applying this to your situation, right? Your child is probably the only one who has done this activity and this activity and this activity with this life event, with this experience, with this. That's who they are, right? So when it comes to standing out, everyone stands out, right? And then people need to like understand it's an and game, not a standout, be the best game, right? So when it comes to everything we're talking about today, there's no the best, right? It's always going to be a lot of and situations for us today. So moving down, right? Spoilers, right? I just gave you a spoilers, right? The spoilers was there is nothing that you need to have in this section, right? So you hear people talk about, oh, Coach Tony, my child needs internships. No, you do not need that. Oh, Coach Tony, my child needs research program. No, you do not need that. Coach Tony, my child needs internships. No, you don't need that. How do I know? We sent hundreds of kids to Ivy schools with none of these things, and they still made it as well too. So because of that, don't feel like you have to have these as well too, right? So we'll talk about what do you need. So moving on, the number one metric, right? So those of you in our coaching program, you guys know this answer, but there is something that we look for. So the first thing I ask any student, right, about their activities is not what they did. The first thing I always ask students, how much time are you spending on your activities, right? As well too, right? Is the question that I like to ask. I always, and some people give me like, oh, my child's doing nothing. There's zero, right? Some people are like, oh, I'm doing 0 to 5 activities. Some people are doing like 6 to 10 hours. Some people are doing 10 to 15 hours. Some people are doing like 15, 20 hours as well too. Those are the different common usual answers as well, right? Ideally, right? Ideally, if you're aiming for a top tier college, right? We're looking for students to hit between 20 and 30 hours per week of activities every single week. And you're like, holy moly, Coach Tony, right? That's a lot of hours, right? A lot of hours. Let me break it down to you guys. Let me break it down 2 ways, right? 2 ways. First way, right? Number one is, right? Number one, is this mathematically possible? Some of you guys, Coach, I don't even have 20 hours in a week. That's why is that possible? Let's try to prove it, right? So a week, 24 hours in a day, right? 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have 168 hours in a week. I agree. All of us have that. None of us have more. None of us has less, right? I'm a big fan of students sleeping, sleeping 8 hours a night. 8 hours a night times 7 days. 7 days equals 56 hours as well too. All right, this is sleep hours, sleep as well too. In the chat, just for fun, does your child sleep 8 hours a night? Drop a yes or a no. If your child sleeps 8 hours a night, yes or no. If your child sleeps 8 hours a night. Some people yeses, a lot of people knows. A lot of people knows as well too. All right, so 8 hours every single night is the first one, right? Then what else is a non-negotiable? Non-negotiable, school, right? So sleep is here. School, how much is school? School, depending on what school you're at, right? But around typically 30 hours a week. 6 times 5, 6 times 5 is 30 hours a week there, right? Homework, how much is homework typically done? 3 hours a night, I think that's fair. 3 hours a night times 5, 15 hours a week, right? These numbers can go up and down a little bit, but these are like the averages, right? That's some even less than 15 hours, even more for you, right? I'm a fan of, I call it me time, right? Me time. Our kids are still kids. They're still teenagers. They're going to probably spend time scrolling TikTok, watching Netflix, YouTube, video games. Let's do 2 hours a night times 7 days. That's 14 hours, right? That's me time. When you do the math of 168 minus 56 minus 30 minus 15 minus 14, you end up with, is it 53? 168 minus 56 minus 30 minus 15 minus 14, 53 hours left in a week. Okay, so there's a lot of hours left in the week, and these are like the non-negotiables, right? So these are that you have to do. Let's say you do dinners and like family time, right? 10 hours, is that fair? 10 hours a week as well too. So we are left with 40 hours unaccounted for so far. That's the first aha, right? Some of you like, holy moly, that's a lot of hours left, right? In a day. That's number one. Number two, right? I'm asking for 20 to 30, aiming for 20, 30. So even part of this 20 more hours of this, you can play video games, scroll TikTok, sleep more as well too. So aiming for 24 hours per week is the key. That's the first part. So the first one is it mathematically possible? It is the first one, right? However, what most people forget about, so I'm gonna give you guys some credit now, is number two, right? Number two, what is an activity? Because what most people think, right? Most people think activity is what I did, right? So for example, think of it as like Think of it as like, oh, my child does soccer, my child does martial arts, my child does volunteering, and you count those hours. What about the commute time, right? Where does that time fit in? I always tell parents the analogy is think of two students, right? They both do soccer, right? One student, soccer is like a block from their house. The other student, they need to travel, right? They need to travel an hour each way. So that's 2 hours of just travel as well too. Where do you account the travel time? Wouldn't you, as a reader, think of those two students very differently, right? Not differently, like the soccer's very differently, knowing that one is right down the street, one spent an extra 2 hours just on commute alone as well, right? So I always tell students define activities as how you spend your time, how you spend your time as well too. Meaning commute time counts as part of your activity hours. If you have hobbies or interests, right? If your child likes to draw, they dance, they do things, right? That counts. Responsibilities, right? If they do stuff, take care. Like for me, I was the oldest in my family. I took care of my brothers and sisters growing up, helped them with their homework. That was an activity that I did as well too, right? So these are all under the bucket of activities as well. So a lot of you guys who probably said these smaller numbers, you're probably underselling your student right, as well too, right? They probably are. I always tell, especially zero. It's hard to do nothing. You're probably doing something, right? Is a key. So what is it that they're doing? So it usually fits under somewhere. If it's not school, if it's not sleeping, it's usually activities. So we want to go ahead and account for that is the key too. Okay, so that is going to be the first kind of aha of this as well too. The metric I'm looking at is the hours per week. So keep in mind we are going to optimize for this, right? So for most students, I believe in here, you guys are aiming for like a top 25 college or a top 50 college, top state school, top private school. This is you. If you're not aiming for a top school, yeah, you don't need to go this hard. We don't have to go as hard and get to 20. 20 is still good. Again, it's hard not to hit these numbers is kind of the lesson so far. Okay. So now that we agree that number is what we want to go for and it's doable, it's possible. You guys see that you can do it. Now let's break it down. And by the way, going back to for those who are like, Coach Tony, my study spends a lot on homework. That's the reason why I started with this, right? If your child's spending more time on academics than activities, they're messing up the inequality here, right? And activities matters more to a reader than the academics. If you're spending way more time here than you are here, evaluate it. That's all. That's the lesson there. So going down, right? So now we understood all this. So now the next thing, there's two buckets. So this is the big lesson for you guys. If you're taking notes, this is where you take notes, right? There's two buckets of activities. So when you look, people ask me, Coach, what do I do? Right? I don't say do this. There's two buckets, right? Bucket number one, right? I call this tasting your major is number one. Okay. Bucket number two is personal interests. Let's break it down. So first one, bucket one, tasting your major, right? If this one is, if I looked at your activities, can I tell you are interested in your major or not? Is the key. So when it comes to your major, I want to see, can I tell you're interested in this field? If you told me, for example, hey, Coach Tony, I want to do computer science, I'm like, awesome. But I look at your activities and you did drawing, you did soccer, you did martial arts, you did history club, you did volunteering at the church and this and that. And that's all you did. I'm like, how can I tell you're interested in how can I tell you're interested in your major? And the reason why we do this, or the reasons you have to understand why, where we're thinking ahead for you, thinking ahead for you, right? For you, right? One of the essay questions, let's see if this works. One of the essay questions on your essays is going to be, why do you want to be this major, right? There we go, it worked. Okay, cool. And for a lot of students, right? For a lot of students, they don't have a good answer to this question. They always give me an answer like, oh, I want to do business because I want to make money. I want to do computer science. I want to build code as well too, right? Most students give readers, I call wishing answers, meaning I wish I'm going to do this in the future. Instead, you want to give the readers evidence, why, like proof that you're doing things for the future. So I call these evidence-based answers is the key for the future as well too, right? So if you're interested in business, right, and I see that, oh wow, you did DECA Club, which is was a business club. You did FBLA, another business thing. You built your own business. You volunteered at a business. You did a business summer program. I can tell you're very interested in business, that when you come to our school, you probably might be a business major as well too, right? That's good. That's the evidence factors. For those of you who don't have it, I do that. And the reason I call it tasting your major, because you want to think of it as vegetables. Okay, so think of it as vegetables, right? For those of you with your kids who may not like vegetables, right? You try something, you try it, and what could happen, right? You hate it, right? If you hate it, cross it off, move on to the next thing, right? A lot of students of ours, they have like paralysis. They like, oh, I need to be perfect. I need my major to be perfect. Then I'll figure out what I want to do. It's like saying, I'm going to get fit before I go to the gym, right? So it's like, no, no, no. The purpose of you doing this is to figure out if you like it or not. That's why we're doing. Because so what if you try out engineering and you don't like it? Cool. You did it, share it, cross it off. Next thing. I tried this. What if I don't like it? Cool. Take it, cross it off. Next thing. So you keep doing the things to show the readers that you've trying it, but you don't like it. Or option B, try B, right? You love it. Oh, you like it first and you love it as well too, right? You do it, you're like, ooh, I like this. Let me do more things. You do more things around that. You do more and more and more. And that's how this interest grows. So we call it tasting your major on purpose, because I tell students, let's pick a major. Let's pick a major that you think you may want to do. And again, if they like it, they're going to do more of it. They're going to do more things around that. If your child doesn't like it, that's okay, right? As well too. Don't feel like they have to make everything perfect. Quick little story for you guys. We actually interviewed one of our students. If you check out our YouTube channel, look up like egelloC UPenn, you'll probably find the story way faster that way. One of our students met her ninth grade as well too. I think ninth grade, her interest was computer science, right? So we planned everything around computer science. But over the years, right? For record, she did like computer science as a ninth grader. But over the years, you notice that her interest changed, right? She dropped computer science. She added on business. She added on healthcare as well. Today, she just graduated with us this past June, right? She was 2025. She's off to UPenn, one of the Ivies, right? She's at UPenn right now as a nursing and business double major as well too. And you're like, hold up, Coach Tony, you said they were computer science, and now there are two majors not even related to computer science. Exactly, because as she explored computer science more, she was like, "Oh, it's okay, but I don't like it as much as these other fields." So it's okay for your activities to evolve with you over the years. It did for her, and now she had a really strong narrative of why she switched out of computer science to these other fields as well. So the first thing I would be looking for in your activities is this first one, tasting your major. Okay, that's the first thing. And for a lot of students, this would be very similar, right? So if you're a lot of you guys who are doing computer science, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have. Let me check. Let's write a few of them now, right? If you're computer science, I'm assuming a lot of you guys have like something coding related, hackathons as well too, things like that, right? For those of you in engineering, a lot of you guys do like robotics. That's like the big one as well too. That's that. Next one, let's say for those of you in bio, right? You guys are volunteering at a hospital. You guys are doing like USABO. Sometimes here's USACO. These are the Olympiads, right? Volunteering as well too. Science programs, summer programs, science summer programs. So you're all doing very similar things, right? So if everyone's doing very similar things, how do you going back, right? Where was it? Where was it? How do we create the and situation? Because if everyone's doing coding, everyone's doing hackathons. The first two, one and two, you look the same as everyone else. So to make you unique, you need your three, four, five, and so bigger numbers, right? So that's number two. The second bucket, I call it personal interest as well too. Because some of this, right? Some parents tell me all the time, "Oh, Coach Tony, my child's playing tennis. I don't think they'll play tennis the rest of their life." Or like, "My kid draws. How can they get a job drawing?" as well too. These other kind of comments as well, right? Which again, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, right? Is that, but your kid likes it. They enjoy it as well too. If you like something, there's probably a reason why, right? Think back to parents if you're watching this call as well too, or students if you're watching this call as well too. Think back to anything you like. Make a list of things that you enjoy, right? And then I ask you, why do you like that? Go and trace it back. Why do you like your number two? Trace it back. And for things that you like, there's always a reason why, right? If you're doing things to look good for college, you get stuck because there's nothing to like besides looking good for college. But anything that you enjoy, and you see this, right? For a lot of students, sports is their big thing, right? They're very interested and very passionate about sports. Arts, they're very passionate and interested about arts. Volunteering here. Some students are very passionate about that. They just love it, right? And I always tell students that the filter question over here is, if Coach Tony did let me write about this in my application, would I still want to do this? Right? So I always tell students like, hey, let's say a student loves animals, right? As well too, and which was not related to the major. Let's say they're in a math major, right? They love animals, and then they want to volunteer at a shelter. And I'm like, cool, you can keep doing the shelter, but Coach Tony won't let you put on your college apps. Would you still want to go? If the student told me, wait, if I'm not going to put it, why am I doing it? That's probably not the right activity for you, and there's no personal interest there. However, the student's like, hell yeah, I would still do it because I want to go for me. I don't need to do it for college, right? Then the answer is yes, you should do it. By the way, no, right? No, everything you do, you should share, right? There's nothing that you should not share on your college apps itself too. So going back here, personal interest. The biggest thing is there's something if you like something, there's probably a reason why. And this is what helps students kind of, again, naturally stand out in the process, because you probably have like a list of activities not related to your major, but it's related to you that you enjoy as well too. And these lists of activities tend to be who you are outside of just the bio person, the engineer, the law person. This is who you are at a core. These tend to be the topics for your college essays as well too. So sorry, if you don't do anything of this, it's hard because then you talk about hackathons when everyone talks about hackathons. So it's very hard that way too. Okay, so that's gonna be the personal interest over here. Okay, last one. As I promised you guys, a lot of you guys are very like, I want to see it, right? So give me the answers. Is it okay if I give you guys examples? Drop a yes in the chat if I can give you examples. If you're like, Coach Tony, I'm still stuck. You say a lot of words for 30 minutes now, but I want to see things my child can do. If you guys can share, drop a yes. If not, we can end the call right now. So too, if you guys know, it's what, 14 categories I think of activities I brainstormed for you guys. 14 categories of things. Only two people. We have 142. Only two people want to see it. So I'll kick everyone out. Only show the two people as well. All right. Yeah. I see pressure. Yeah, I see pressure. I see. All right. Or it's late. We're tired when we're watching this as well. Let's go ahead and see as well. And again, I see some questions in the chat. If you want to drop it, we'll do some Q&A after to have a little bit of time as well. So I'm gonna ramble because there's a lot. I'm gonna rush through all this, right? So first off, what activities you gotta do? I would say it depends on your child. There's nothing on this list that you have to do. There's nothing here that you should do. It's all based on you. So everything I'm gonna share needs to trace back to either, is this a personal interest for my child, or is this something my child can use to taste their major? Okay, that's the key. If you guys can understand, I'm gonna give you a bunch of ideas, and then you kind of put into one of these two buckets. If it doesn't fit any bucket, don't do it. It's more like, if you do that, that's just doing things for the sake of college. Don't do that. Okay, so Like I mentioned, this is not a comprehensive list. I just like took 20 minutes, just typed a bunch of stuff out. So these are just some ideas for you guys. Okay. So first section, academic. So real quick, any parents have kids who are more like geeky, like school, more academic related things. You can drop a yes. We use the word yes a lot today. Yeses here. I can't go a little smaller. There we go. Few yeses. All right. So for those of you, a few things, right? One, you can do academic clubs. I mentioned like the Olympiads, right? Research projects, online courses. Someone asked earlier, like, can community college class be? It could. I didn't say that it could. I'll explain the nuance in a bit. But like Coursera, a class like Coursera, that counts for sure. Competitions, independent study, peer tutoring, teaching students, programs, Cosmos. For those who are applying to Cosmos, if you're watching this live at the end of October, the applicants are coming up, by the way, for this, a lot of summer programs there. Next section, activities. Anyone here, kids are STEM? Any STEM parents in here? STEM families? We have a few. Nice. Nice. All right. So for STEM folks, some ideas for you guys, right? Robotics teams, right? VEX and all of them. Coding projects, science Olympiads, math contests, right? Amy, AMC, engineering stuff, data science stuff. Making a YouTube channel, very hip in today's world, right? YouTube, blogs, mentorships, groups, right? Like girls who code. That's a popular one for a lot of our students. Anyone here, kids, artsy kids. Artsies are creativity kids, creative kids as well too. Right, a few yeses. More interesting, more creative kids, right, as well too. Art portfolios, right? Photography, filmmaking, theater, music production, dance teams, creative writing, fashion, sewing, music composition, Etsy, designs. By the way, a lot of these ideas are from our coaching students. So if I'm listening to your stuff, that's kind of you were inspired by this, right? So you have kids who are doing these exact things with us currently right now as well too, right? Next one, leadership, entrepreneurship as well, like starting something, right? These are a few different ideas for you as well too. Starting a club, doing government, launching a business, organizing events, founding a nonprofit, youth ambassador, social media, legacy, leading workshops as well too. Something, again, I am gonna, for those who will have this doc available for download later, but something I included here for you guys, if you guys want doing it, I included 900 club ideas. So if you're like, I want to start a club, I have no clue what to do, 956 pages of clubs that we've been compiling over the past like decade, right? That you can create at your high school and run it as well too. So if that's cool, drop the word cool in the chat as well too, right? So that's that. Next one, community service, right? For those who like volunteering, volunteering as well too. You can volunteer at shelters, hospitals, food banks, or donation drives, mentoring your students, tutoring, building websites, park cleanups, social media, social awareness campaigns, groups like NHS, Key Club, and virtual volunteer. This is something that a lot of our students have been doing the last few years as well too. Because again, we live in a world with technology now. You're not restricted by your physical area. Do things digitally and online. Okay. Next one, career exploration as well. So to do that, and this will fall under tasting your major, right? Shadowing people, summer internship, part-time jobs, work experience, assisting businesses, attending career conferences, joining professional groups, building your LinkedIn and connecting with folks, shadowing through folks as well. Personal passion project, and this could relate to your major or your personal interest. Again, creating a blog, a podcast, YouTube channel, writing a short book, building an app, as well too, building a personal project, newsletter, publication, partnering with schools to do workshops, documenting learnings as well. Kids who are interested in sports, right? These like sports, again, sports stuff, JV, varsity, club, individual stuff, coaching for younger kids as well too, doing fitness challenges, yoga, outdoor stuff, volunteering, creating a channel, another more. This one is cultural involvement, right? Those who like the community, right? Language clubs, culture groups, Model UN's a big one for a lot of our students. Exchange programs, studying abroad, translating stuff. These are more non-traditional stuff as well. International competition, virtual summits, advocacy campaigns, connecting groups as well, right? Next one, family. Again, you don't have to go and do big things, right? If your family runs a business, you're helping them with that. That counts as well too. Babysitting, tutoring, youth-based youth stuff, faith-based youth stuff as well too. Organizing in your community, religion, helping teachers, working part-time, working volunteering as well. Technology, those who are more geeky as well too, right? Coding boot camps, hackathons, creating tools, Chrome's, Discord bots, AI tools, chat bots, automation tools, web design, robotics, building a game. Fun fact: one of our students, what school is she at now? MIT? No. Caltech? No. One of them, one of those schools, she built on Roblox, and that was her thing. She actually sold like clothes on Roblox, which is super cool. Blockchain, crypto as well, right? Next one, environmental efforts for those who love the world, right? As well too. Environmental club. Again, if your school doesn't have it, you can start one. Do community gardens, recycling, composting, partnering up. One of our students who got to UCLA this last year, she partnered with her school. She asked her school, "Can we do this drive?" And this school said, "Yeah." And so she did the work. They helped her run it. And she got a really cool thing. She's at UCLA right now as well too. Creative educational materials, advocacy events, right? Next one, faith. That's a big one for a lot of our families as well too, right? Maybe youth group, organizing service trips or retreats, teaching younger kids, fundraising. And for those online, this is good for like anyone because you're watching me online right now, so you can probably do it too. Blog, podcast, online community. A lot of our kids do Discords. Fun fact, by the way, for those of you who are kids who play video games as well too, I always tell how can we turn this into a leverage for us. One of our students, he played the game Minecraft, if you guys know that game, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just building stuff." I'm like, "Hmm." And so the more I look, I'm like, "Oh, you're building an online community. Let's reposition this activity as your." And that's what he did. He changed the Discord name to like a world, and he built stuff, and people came and played games on his server. Therefore, it grew from 6 to 600 in like 2, 3 years as well. They're super cool. Student newsletter, creating a personal website, digital portfolio, creating TikToks, YouTube shorts as well too, and awareness campaign. So these are just some really, really cool ideas for you guys. This is not a comprehensive list. There's a lot more you can do, but the big theme at the end of the day, it needs to relate back to one of two things, right? If I was to build, again, the theme today, build a thing from scratch, half of my activities should taste my major. And then if it changes, it changes. That's cool too. Don't feel like it's as bad. And the second one is personal interest. On the same regard, we change our minds too. So you might do something for a while, and then you know what? I don't like this anymore, and you move to a different topic. That's perfectly okay. At the end of the day, what the readers are looking for in you is who you are as a person. Because again, I already know you're book smart. I see the grades. I see the classes. I want to know the type of person you are outside of this, outside of just your grades is the key. Okay. Awesome. That's pretty much it for this trading here. I'm seeing if there's any questions. If I missed any, I think I answered a few during my thing as well. No, I think I interweaved all the questions into the presentation. So cool. That is pretty much it for this trading here. It's a pleasure. If anyone's interested again in seeing if we can work together, help you guys out, let us know. Reach out to us. We'll connect you guys. But for everyone else, I'll see you guys on the next trading. Chat soon, everyone.